Hey guys, it's Megan, and today I'm back with another Cricut video. In this video, I'll be showing a few things that you can make with your Cricut Maker or other Cricut cutting machine. But before we jump into it, I want to give a huge shout out to Cricut for sponsoring this video. I love my Cricut Maker. It cuts over 300 different materials and it is super easy to get the hang of. I picked 5 materials to showcase today, and I designed a project to go with each one. All the projects in this video were made with images from Cricut Access, and you can find everything linked in the description. So with all that being said, let's just get into it. When I think of Cricut, one of the first things that comes to mind is vinyl. There are so many different types of vinyl to choose from, but the main thing to pay attention to is whether your vinyl is permanent or removable. Permanent vinyl is, well, permanent. It works great for things like mugs, car decals, and outdoor projects. Removable vinyl will stick to your surface, but it can be peeled away without leaving any residue. This works best for things like wall or window decals, nail decals, and labels. So in honor of it finally being spring, I thought it would be fun to make some window decals. I saw this rainbow window film on TikTok last year, and I love the effect that it gives. I was kind of hesitant to buy it though, because I didn't really want to cover a whole window. That's where my Cricut comes in. By using some window film with some Cricut vinyl, you can make these adorable suncatcher window decals.
For this project, you'll need rainbow window film, vinyl in the color of your choice, and your Cricut machine. First, I went to Design Space to pick an image. I welded a few images together to make this crystal design. You'll want an image that doesn't have a ton of detailed line art so the rainbow film can shine through. To design my project, I imported my image, duplicated it, then clicked Contour. I clicked Hide All Contours to make it a solid shape. This will be cut from the window film, and the lines will be cut from vinyl. I found that the stencil film setting worked the best for cutting the window film. It cuts through the window film, but it leaves the backing mostly intact. I put the film on my standard grip mat and loaded it into the machine. When that was done, I put some white permanent vinyl on the same mat and cut out the second layer. It doesn't really matter if you use permanent or removable vinyl for this project, since the vinyl isn't what's sticking to the window. I weeded both pieces with my Cricut weeding tool. I stuck some transfer tape on my vinyl and carefully lined it up with the window film. Use the Cricut scraper tool to make sure the vinyl is stuck down, and peel off the transfer tape. Make sure your window is clean. Remove the plastic on the back and spray the back of the decal with water. Spray the part of the window where you want it to. Place the decal on the window and squeeze out any extra water with your Cricut scraper. I just wiped the extra water off the window with a paper towel. When the sun shines just right, you'll have these little rainbows all around your room. These are so easy to make, and they make great gifts. It would be super easy to mail these. It might even look better if you used holographic vinyl instead of the white. Another material that I love to use with my Cricut is IronOn.
IronOn is great for adding designs to fabric, and it comes in tons of different varieties. My favorite IronOn to use is the Everyday IronOn, but there's also glitter, holographic, sportflex, patterned, and even foil IronOn. You can use this to make custom clothes, pillows, bags, shoes. It can even be used on wood. I thought it would be fun to make a simple sweatshirt in this video. I have been living for oversized sweatshirts lately. I'll link the one that I use down below. When doing any type of project like this, I like to start with a plan. Since every shirt is different, I never know what size I need my graphic to be. So this time, I took pictures of the front and the back of my sweatshirt,
took a screenshot of my Cricut design, and removed the background so I could make a mock-up in Canva. I held up a ruler to the sweatshirt and just kind of guesstimated how big the flowers needed to be. I ended up making them about 5 inches. Here's a little hack that I like to use when I need to cut a bunch of the same image. I just make one of the images in my project, then click Make It. Then I just change the copy setting to the amount that I need. Not only does this save time, but it also keeps the design space file a little smaller so your projects load easier. When you're working with IronOn, it is super important to place the shiny side down on your mat. It's also important to remember to mirror your images, especially if they contain any text. I cut out my flowers, weeded everything, then placed them on my shirt. I ironed them on with my Easy Press too. I love that you can go to Cricut's website, select the material you're using and what you want to iron it on, and it'll tell you the exact settings that you need. And if you don't have an Easy Press, this works with a household iron too. Apply heat to the front and back of each piece according to the instructions, and when it's cool you can peel off the plastic. Now, this is why it's important to try stuff on. I kind of wish that I moved the flowers in a little bit more just because of the way that the shirt fits. I tried tucking it in, and I actually thought that looked kind of cute, but it kind of limits what you can wear it with. But other than that, I kind of like it, and now I know what to do next time. Let me know in the comments, should I crop this or keep it long? Something that I've always wanted to try using with my Cricut is leather. This can be used with the Cricut Maker or Cricut Explore machines.
Cricut sells faux leather, genuine leather, and metallic leather. You can make all sorts of things with this. Some things that I've seen other people make are things like jewelry, keychains, and wallets. You can also use leather to make hair accessories.
Since I've never actually worked with leather before, I bought a big pack of faux leather from Amazon. You can get this in a whole bunch of colors and patterns. Besides the leather, you'll need some hair clips and a hot glue gun. If you ever want to cut a non-Cricut product, it might take a few tries to get the settings right. I used some of the patterns that I didn't like as much for testers. I finally settled on the canvas setting for this brand, since it's a little on the thinner side. I put the leather on my strong grip mat and taped down the edges with masking tape. Then I just let my Cricut do the rest. To assemble the clips, sandwich the top part of the clip between the two pieces of leather. Most of the clips that I designed have this little slot in the bottom piece. Open the clip and slide on the faux leather. Make sure the design's facing out. I like to close the clip to hold the leather in place. Put a generous amount of hot glue on top of the clip and put the second piece on top. After making sure both sides are stuck together, I used a lighter to melt down any extra hot glue that escaped from the sides. Make sure not to get the lighter too close. You just want to melt the glue, not burn the leather. And that's it! The hair clip that's open in the middle goes together pretty much the same way. I put on the bottom piece first, trying to line it up with the clip as best as I could. Since this design is a little different from the other ones, I put a dot of glue here and here to hold the clip in place. For the top piece, again, I lined it up the best that I could, and used a generous amount of hot glue to stick it on. Try not to let the glue spill out from the middle of the clip, because it's a little harder to melt that off. Use a lighter to melt any excess glue, and you're done. I experimented with a few different hair clip designs, and I found that the ones with the smooth edges worked the best. I tried to make some with scalloped edges, but the scallops were a little too small for my rotary blade to handle. Otherwise, this is a great, cheap and easy way to build up your hair clip collection. Another one of my favorite materials to use with my Cricut Maker is chipboard. Chipboard works great for making sturdier 3D projects. I used it in my last Cricut video to make car coasters and this gnome decoration with interchangeable hands.
This time I wanted to try a larger chipboard project. I designed this pegboard vinyl organizer in Cricut Design Space. I will say, if you're new to making your own designs like I am, definitely have some extra material on hand in case you mess it up the first time. To cut the chipboard, you'll need a strong grip mat and a Cricut knife blade. You'll also need some masking tape.
Place your chipboard on your mat and tape it down. Before using chipboard, make sure to move these wheels all the way to the right, and make sure that you've inserted the knife blade. When you go to make your project, make sure to change the material size to 11 by 11 inches. The chipboard setting will tell you the machine needs to cut through 24 times. I found that it was finished quicker than that, so you'll want to keep an eye on your project while it's cutting. You can check to see if your cut is done by pressing the pause button on your machine. If it's done, you can unload your mat, and if it's not, just press the go button to continue. I needed 3 pieces of chipboard for this project. At this point, you should have 5 pieces that look like this. You could leave the chipboard plain, or you could paint it. I painted mine white. Make sure the pieces fit together, then attach them using hot glue. I put holes in the back of my vinyl organizer so it could be hung up on a pegboard, but you can hang yours on the wall if you want. To glue the organizer together, I lined the pieces up like this, and put a line of hot glue all the way down. Bring the side up, and add more hot glue to the edges. Repeat this until the whole organizer is assembled. The vinyl goes in sideways like this. I feel like when people think of Cricut crafts, they mostly think of decorative things, but Cricut machines can make a lot of useful things too. My Cricut Maker has been the perfect tool for organization. If chipboard's not your thing, the Cricut Maker can also cut basswood and balsa wood.
This works great for making things like 3D organizers, ornaments, adding details to wood signs, and a whole lot more. Since this is real wood, it can be decorated using wood stain or a wood burning kit. I think it would be cool if you used one of the Cricut pens to draw a design on the wood and then went over that with a wood burning thing, if that makes sense. I used my basswood to make some stud earrings. Now, you don't see a ton of people making stud earrings with cutting machines. They're usually the bigger dangly earrings. And with a machine that's as popular as Cricut, Usually there's a reason for that, but you know me, I had to test it out anyways.
Besides the basswood, I used earring backs, acrylic paint, UV resin, a paint pen, and some gold leaf. Tape your basswood to your strong grip mat. Make sure the knife blade is inserted and load it into your machine. Again, it said that I would need 14 passes, but since these were small, I only needed 10. This project works best with simple shapes. I tried cutting some more detailed things like a paint palette and these flowers, but they kind of fell apart since I was trying to cut something so small. I'm going to try the paint palette again. I'll just get rid of the thumb hole next time. I made my earrings a little less than ½ an inch in diameter. I removed the basswood from my mat, then sanded down the edges to make them nice and smooth. I painted my earrings with acrylic paint. I tried cutting vinyl to decorate them, but again, they are just too small. Cricut specifically says that basswood cuts smaller than 3/4 of an inch might not work, so I'm guessing that there's a similar rule for vinyl. I figured, no problem, I'll just decorate the earrings by hand. I glued on the earring backs first, to make it easier to hold the earrings while I decorate. I put on the earring backs with some E6000 glue. I poked them into some cardboard to give them a little more stability. For the diamond and the heart-shaped lock, I drew the details with a black Posca pen. For the circle and one of the hexagons, I put Mod Podge over half of the earring and covered it with gold leaf. For the other pair of hexagon earrings, I covered the whole thing with Mod Podge, then added smaller flakes of the gold leaf. To finish them off, I sealed each earring with some UV resin. I cured them under my UV lamp, and that was it. I love how these earrings turned out, and I definitely want to make more. My favorites are these ones with the gold leaf. You could also use your Cricut to cut cards to hold the earrings if you wanted to sell them or give them as gifts.
The Cricut Maker can do so much more than what I showed in this video. It can cut fabric, which is super awesome. I have done that before and it works really well, but my sewing machine is currently broken, so we did not do that this time. But it can also cut things like felt, paper, cardstock, craft foam, crepe paper, and so much more. It's one of my favorite crafting tools and I seriously cannot recommend it enough. Again, thank you so much to Cricut for sponsoring this video. You can find all of the products that I use linked in the description, as well as links to all the design space projects that I made. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!